Hi, I'm Eric Friedman. I'm the Executive Director of the Matter Valley Chamber of Commerce, and we're here for our next edition of Tailgate Talks, and we're here today with the proprietor of Inklings Children's Books, Brian Wry. Welcome to the Tailgate, Brian.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so what do you think about this whole thing?
This is genius. I love this. I really do. This is such a clever idea, and I've been watching them as you've released them.
So wait, so you're the guy?
I'm the guy who watches them. You've probably read my comments. Yep. But it's been a really fun way of getting to know people in the Valley.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to to get around and show off the different businesses and characters and things, and I'm glad that you're now officially one of the Mad River Valley characters. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So you own Inklings Children's Books, and I have to acknowledge, I don't think I've ever acknowledged this to you before. When you opened up and I saw what was going on, I'm like, this guy's out of his mind. So tell me, like, how this whole idea came about. And you've proven me wrong, by the way.
I'm a children's book author, and so I was splitting my time. We had a home here in the Valley for 13 years, but our primary residence was in Brooklyn. Splitting my time between doing children's books events, like schools, libraries, bookstores, and working as a producer in television. And I just got to the point where I wanted to do children's books full time. It's my love, it's my passion. I love everything about it. So I said to my wife, who was able to work remotely, what do you think about doing this? And bless her heart, she said, yeah, let's do it.
So tell me, like, what was the concept? Because it's a pretty unique bookstore. So tell me, like, how the whole idea came about and what the concept is for it.
I think one of the things I love most about children's books are you can lose yourself in them if you're a child. You can go on this adventure. You can also find yourself in them. You can see characters that you identify with, and there's a lot to be taken from them. So really the concept overall was to create an environment where you could do both. You could come in, you could explore like classic children's books, but you could also find new children's books. And we have a dedicated arts and crafts area.
Yeah, which is really cool.
And that's where you can explore and you can sort of, find yourself through creativity or express something you want to express. So it's really born out of that idea of finding something new and also finding something that feels good to you.
So this seems like it's been a family endeavor that, your wife's involved in it, your daughter's done a lot of the artwork here, and your younger daughter is a solid customer. I hope you at least give her a discount.
Yes, I pay her a very low hourly rate, but she does get compensated for all of her work.
So tell me a little bit about how they're involved with it and how this came about.
Well, they're involved in every step of it. I talk out all of my ideas. They contribute ideas. Sylvia is great at giving me book recommendations, something that she's discovered at the library. She loves going to the libraries, both Warren and Joslin, and of course our school library. She's a member everywhere. And she brings me books that kids are reading, and it's been a great learning experience.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've really appreciated since you've been on. One, that you've just been such a collaborator in the business community and in the community generally, and the fact that you've working with the folks at the library. Tell us about the collaboration with the schools and the libraries.
Schools and libraries have been fantastic. They're really helpful getting the word out. For events that we're having at Inklings, author events, or we have local artists come in and do workshops with the kids. They're fantastic about getting the word out about that. I've been fortunate enough to do readings and presentations at all the schools. So it's just exciting that the schools are really involved with the community, and that they take a priority and bringing people in and sharing information. It's a great sort of circular relationship. It's been fantastic.
Well, it was interesting. Right before school started, you did the event, I forget what it was called. What was it?
For the golden ticket?
No, we'll talk about the golden ticket too. But I meant the one that right before school started, the school carnival.
The school carnival. We just thought it would be fun. I worked with the local parent organizations for all 4 of our local elementary schools. And we coordinated to create a sort of end of school, back to summer carnival. So families could sort of get together before school started, reconnect with friends, reconnect with other families, and have fun doing it. We had a dunk tank and bounce house, and there were games and raffles and food. It was just a great way to get everybody in the community together and have some fun.
Yeah, you had quite a turnout for that, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. I underestimated. We sold tickets to participate in all the different activities, and all the money went to the local parent organizations. And
it didn't go to the Brian Wry Vacation Foundation?
No. I had lobbied that. I put that out there as an option, but in the end,
Sylvia said, "No, this is going to look really bad, Dad."
It's going to be a bad look for me at school, Dad. Please don't do that. So all the money went to the schools, but we sold out of all of our tickets, I think, before we were halfway through the event. And we had to sort of go around to all the people taking tickets and recycle the tickets and keep selling to new people. So it was a huge turnout, and we were super grateful.
Yeah, it's amazing. I said, the Chamber and the Valley Reporter do the community calendar, and we've been doing this for a long time. And you're probably one of the more you use it more than almost anyone else. And every other day, I have to approve them, and they come in. And I'm like, oh, Brian's doing another one.
I know. I think I sent you an email recently. Like, I'm so sorry. I know I'm inundating you with these, but yet here is another event.
No, I really love it because I can't tell you how many times I've heard over the years, like, oh, there's nothing going on in the Mad River Valley. And then when we got the Chamber calendar up, and we realized, like, there's tons going on. And new business owners like you have added such a vibrancy to the community that we really need, and it's awesome.
When we moved here full-time to do the store, one of the funnest parts about moving here was discovering, as a weekender, we had limited exposure, obviously, right? We came up, we skied, we went out, we had dinner, we did that sort of thing. But once we moved here, we discovered so many amazing things that are going on here, from the dance classes to like Salt and Sand Studios.
And I hear you're taking the French class tonight at the library, right?
I'm doing French class at the library tonight. There are so many awesome things to do in the Mad River Valley. You just have to go to the Chamber website, do some basic exploration, but it's all there. Great activities for families, great activities for adults, for kids, for everybody. It really is all there.
So one of the interesting things about Inklings is just like what a cool space it is. Tell me about the tree and who did that.
I have to give a major shout out to Vermont Pro Construction. They did all of the work in the shop. I think it was a financial office in there before.
Yes. It was not nearly as fun.
No. So, needless to say, they had a lot to do, and they did it amazingly, and it was their idea of the tree. I knew I wanted an outdoor feeling for the reading corner, but I think my original pitch to them was like sort of a fieldstone hearth that I could sit in front of for story times, and they came back and said, what do you think about a tree, like a cherry blossom tree? And I was sold instantly, and it was so much fun to watch them put that together.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and all the clouds and everything up in there, up in the ceiling. It's an amazing space.
Thanks. It's like springtime year round, so
which we can use in the winter sometimes, right?
Absolutely. Like I go to work every morning and I get to walk in, put up the lights, and there's clouds and trees and grass, and yeah, it's awesome.
So you've lived up here for how long full time now?
Just over a year.
And what are your takeaways so far?
I used to work in television, and I used to have to go around and do interviews.
And now you still are.
And now I'm sort of back. But I would travel around and do interviews, and everybody says, oh, my town's the kind of town where everybody knows everybody. I have never been in a place where that actually felt truer than here. It is such a, and I mean this it sounds like a Hallmark card, but it's the truth. It is a town full of warm, welcoming, supportive people.
And me.
And then there's you. But all of those other people make it really amazing. It's true.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of people, it's one of the themes that as we've been doing these interviews that people are always talking about, that sense of community and all of that. One of the things I know that you've really integrated yourself into the Mad River Green Shops community. Tell us about like how things are going here with your neighbors.
It's amazing. They've been supportive from day one, offering advice, which has been, beyond beneficial. They've helped out with that, they've helped out in physical ways, like coming over and saying, no, here's how you make your point of sale work. You know,
real nuts and bolts kinds of things.
From soup to nuts, they've been helpful.
So how you've just celebrated your 1-year anniversary? I can't believe it's been a year already, right?
Coming up on October 12th. Yes.
So tell us about your festivities for the grand anniversary. Not the grand over, the grand anniversary, right?
So, again, when you live in a place that's this magical, like you kind of want to like just perpetuate that in every way possible. So I thought, what if we did like hit a golden ticket somewhere in the valley, and
like Willy Wonka-esque, right?
Super Willy Wonka-esque, and the finder of the golden ticket would get to be in charge of the bookstore for the day of the anniversary party.
Wait a minute, this is just you getting a day off.
It all depends on how you look at it. But
so they run the store for the day?
They run the store for the day. So the young man who found it at the Warren Library, followed all the clues, discovered the ticket. He's in charge for the day of the anniversary party. He got to pick books for the store.
Oh, that's awesome.
He gets to pick the book that it read for story time. We also have, as I said, an arts and crafts area. So he got to design a craft that will become a part of our crafts area. And he also gets a very special grand prize, which I'm going to save as a surprise for him.
So he was pretty stoked, huh?
Yeah, he came in. It was so awesome. He's an avid reader, and now he'll get to be the runner of a bookstore.
Brian Wry for a day.
Brian Wry for a day. That's right. Yeah.
So, what else? Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about the store? Because one of the things I wanted to mention to you too is how you've integrated yourself into the community and at the farmers market and doing story time at the farmer. What's that been like doing story time? Because it's always live music there, but this is like a whole new element, right?
It's been awesome. We always do story time on Saturdays, but with the farmers market, we're like, it makes so much more sense since that's where everybody is to go out and just read there. So yeah, when the band takes a break, I hop in and I read a couple of books, and I've been doing it all summer, and the audience is growing, and it's been great. I mean, the sweetest thing happened last Saturday. A little girl came up and said, "You've been doing so well," and she gave me $1 tip. Like, you know how you tip the musicians?
Really?
Yeah, she gave me $1 tip. It was the sweetest thing, and I said thank you. And
that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else about it we haven't talked about that you want to let people know about Inklings or your experience here in the Valley?
One of the things we like to do is create community events outside the store and inside the store. A big part of that is our author events. We have a lot of author events at least once a month. It's a great way to introduce kids and get them to meet somebody who, can maybe inspire them. But we're branching out in our upcoming year and doing events for older middle grade readers. And we're kicking off a series called Dinner with an Author. And it's going to happen at night. And our first dinner is going to be with New York Times bestselling author, Catherine Arden, who also lives in Vermont. And she's going to come read her middle grade book, portions of it, and then talk to the kids about, Q&A and do all that with the kids. And then talk to the kids about writing process, all while we enjoy food from a local restaurant.
Can't go wrong there.
No.
So, I mean, it's an interesting thing. You've had a number of author events here.
Yeah.
Is it hard getting them here? Like, how do you, are they local, or what's the story?
That was another big surprise with opening the store. Was I knew I wanted to do author events, but I'm thinking, having lived in Brooklyn for 27 years, am I going to be able to get authors in Vermont? There's an embarrassment of riches here. There are so many talented authors, amazing. It's been
that are Vermonters.
They're Vermonters, and we've had a couple of authors come up from the Boston area as well, but mostly they've all been from Vermont, Montpelier, Burlington, even Kate Hosford, who grew up here in Waitsfield.
Sure.
It's incredible. It's been wonderful.
Now, have you been a children's author before you had kids?
No. I had the chance to write for Walt Disney when my oldest was 4, and it was my first experience writing for kids, and I fell in love with it. And I knew at that point I was hooked.
Is it anything we've heard of?
No. They never produced the movie, unfortunately, which is not terribly uncommon. But yeah, no, it was Disney was an incredible experience. I learned a lot working for them, and again, it got me to fall in love with writing for kids.
It's an interesting background that, you come to, and I'm always amazed at how people make a living in the Valley. And it's like, well, you can do that, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have to acknowledge when you started, I'm like, this guy's crazy. There's no way he's going to be able to pull this off. And then I see you do it, and it's really refreshing. And I think you get, if you've been someplace long enough, I kind of get jaded.
Sure.
And it's like, no, like people come with new ideas, and it works, right?
Yeah, no, and again, that's in large part to a community that comes out and supports businesses. And we've been fortunate to the fortunate beneficiaries of their support, and we're grateful.
So that was one of the things I want to ask you. I mean, you talk about the business community here, and when you came here, you joined the chamber, and you're a Chamber of Commerce member. Tell me about what your experience with the chamber has been, and how you value it.
I think it's valuable because it has introduced me to other business owners. Now retailers are sort of getting together and talking more through the chamber, which is amazing. I got to meet a few retailers from that experience. Yeah. And it's just nice to share ideas, to talk about things maybe we could collaborate on. Right. Let's do this for Mother's Day. Let's do that for Valentine's Day. And that's in large part due to the chamber. And same with the inns, the B&Bs.
Oh, yeah.
We had a couple come in last week that was sent to us from one of the B&Bs. They were here on their baby moon, which was a new term to me, but a trip before the baby's born. So they came in to buy some children's books, and they were sent here from another chamber member. So we're very grateful. Yeah,
I think that's one of the real hallmarks of the Metro Valley and the business community here is how supportive they are, no matter what sector they're in. They want everyone to do well, right?
Yeah, I mean the rising tide raises all boats.
In theory.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a true believer in that.
No, that's great. So what you got? Any big plans for the winter? And the foliage I know is going to be busy. Any big plans for the winter?
We have more author events. We have a Caldecott winter coming in November. We've got our dinner with the author starting in October. I've been in talks with UVM, their music program. We want to start folding music into our lineup. So we're going to have a string quartet come and play for us after the first of the year.
Underneath the tree?
Underneath the tree, absolutely.
That's amazing. I am so glad that we've had this opportunity to chat and talk, and we'll have to get you back. Maybe we'll come back in the winter. We'll have to bundle up a little bit, but it's okay, right?
Absolutely, anytime.
Well, Brian, thanks so much for joining us on the Tailgate, and we'll see you again real soon.
Thanks, Eric.
Take care.